I can't believe it. This is such ridiculous. This is so much fun.
It's so good.
Fun is not allowed. This is my friend Thoralf. He is going to have to try to beat me with a welcome deck. Those are the free piles of cards they would give new players when they would enter game stores. But I will be the fun police as he has to beat me as I play a deck that costs 100,000 euro. But you're gonna need some help. At any moment, you can press this red button to add one card to your welcome deck. To give you a chance, since your deck is literally free, you can go first.
I'll play Forest.
Yes.
And it's your turn.
Wow, extremely powerful, Thoralf. I will play an Underground Sea, which is just a land that taps for blue and black. Pass the turn.
I'll play another Forest and a Snapping Gnarlid. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever land enters the battlefield, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
You paid 2 mana for that.
I did.
In response, just for fun, because I can, I'm gonna cast Ancestral Recall, which is 1 blue mana to draw 3 cards. Or force target opponent to draw 3 cards. Nah. And, it feels bad. This feels dirty, Thoralf. I'm just gonna play Force of Will, which asks me to exile a card and pay 1 life to counter target spell.
Yep.
2 drop is too good.
But I'm ahead on life total.
You are.
Your turn.
I'll draw. I'm gonna play another one. And then I'm gonna play a Mox Sapphire, which is also basically an island. It's just a 0 mana artifact attacks for blue.
Yep.
And then I will play a Show and Tell, which is a 3 mana, perfectly equal spell. As much symmetry as you can ever have in Magic, because each of us gets the opportunity to put either a creature, enchantment, artifact, or land into play. I have one, do you?
Yeah.
Is it powerful?
It's very powerful.
Let's find out.
It's a 1/3 mana elf.
Okay, now that you read yours, it's time for me to read mine. It's a 8 mana 6/6 flying. Whenever Archon of Cruelty enters the battlefield or attack target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card and loses 3 life, you draw a card and gain 3 life.
Our deck isn't great, and Carl showed us Show and Tell, so we're gonna put some oomph into our deck and add some big creatures.
So your deck is a tiny bit more expensive now.
I prepared.
Mine is still 100,000 euro.
I'll play Forest. Go.
Oh, yes, the money you added is paying off. I will play Polluted Delta. Pass the turn.
I feel confident.
Show me what you got.
All right, I'll play another Forest and the Druid of the Cowl, which we saw briefly.
We saw it last turn.
Yeah, it's a 1/3 that makes a mana.
I'm gonna pay 1 life to fetch an Underground Sea with my Polluted Delta. And then I will just use that mana, because I don't want you to untap with 4, to Fatal Push your Druid of the Cowl. I will untap, draw, play an island, and a Psychic Frog. That's what money gets you. It's a 1/2. When it deals damage to you, I draw a card. I can discard cards to make it bigger. It does everything. It made me coffee once. It's pretty good. It's okay, as far as a frog goes.
It made you coffee.
Yeah. It was slimy.
I'll play a 3rd Forest and a Snapping Gnarlid, 2 mana 2/2, and 4 gets +1/+1.
That was pretty good.
Go.
I'll drop. Woo! Let's start things off by flexing. This is a Black Lotus. This is the most iconic card in Magic the Gathering. I can sacrifice it and add 3 mana of any color. And this is where I show off what money gets you, because you just tapped 2 lands and played a 2/2. I played the most iconic card in the game. I will also play a land. I will also discard a card, because my Psychic Frog has the ability, if I discard cards, I give him a +1/+1 counter. I will also exile 3 cards from my graveyard to give it flying.
So you don't even let me block.
No, I don't want you to.
Yeah.
You can have your 2/2. I'll attack for 2. This will allow me to draw a card because I hit you with it. Do you think that's enough? I don't. I'll take 2 more life to look at your hand. In case I want to Show and Tell, I don't want you to put anything too strong.
So I have,
Opera Genitus! Well, now I can't Show and Tell. That's okay. I've got more to do. I'm going to draw a card. You can have those back.
Thank you.
Then I will sacrifice my Black Lotus for 3 black and pay another 3 and play Bolus's Citadel. 6 mana spell, turn 3. Not bad. It's a legendary artifact. I may look at the top card of my library at any time. I'll do that. Woo! Doesn't matter here because I may play the top card of my library. And if I cast spells that way, I pay life instead of its mana cost. I don't want this. So I'm going to play another spell called Vampiric Tutor. I'll pay 2 life. I'm all about paying life here. And then I search my library for any card and put it on top of it.
So you will draw it next turn.
Next turn. That is correct, Thoralf. No, have you not read Bolus's Citadel? I can look at the top card of my library. This costs 7.
I know. Okay, it turns out Progenitus might not be the sole solution, so we're gonna need another card that helps us cheat it into play.
So what did you bring now?
You'll find out soon. I'll play Forest. It's your turn.
I hope it's not a force.
No, I did not add more Forest.
You couldn't get enough. I'll ponder. I'll look at the top 3 cards in my library. What? I'll put them back in any order, and then I'll get to draw them. It's hard because I want all of them.
I mean, you
go.
I'll draw. play a second forest, and you've guessed it, a Druid of a Cow.
Oh, it's been so good so far.
Go.
On top. On my turn, I'll Brainstorm, which allows me to draw 3 cards, and then put 2 cards back on top of my library in any order. And then I will fetch to shuffle them away.
Oh.
So I get an Underground Sea into play, and I will play a Mox Emerald. Go.
So you have 2 mana.
I do. I can't counterspell because one of them is green.
Well, I'm sure you have only counter spells in your deck, but we're gonna try because there goes nothing. I'll tap 4 mana for one of my wished cards.
Is it like a 3/3?
Natural Order. In order to play Natural Order, I have to sacrifice my creature, but as a reward, I get another green creature from my library.
That you put into play.
Absolutely.
Whoop! I saw Progenitus in your deck. First, I'm gonna try to go digging for counterspells. I'll play an Essential Recall. Just 1 blue, draw 3 cards.
Come on.
You're fine.
Hey! Oh, this video might be shorter than expected. Hello!
That's a 10/10.
10/10 protection from everything, anywhere, anytime.
At once.
At once. And if it would go into the graveyard from anywhere, anytime, reveal it and shove it back into its owner's library. That's all I do.
It has protection from everything.
Yes, you can't target or minus it or reshuffle it or anything. It can't block it. There's nothing.
It's pretty good.
Go.
I'll draw. I'll play Polluted Delta. And the frog again. You know what it does. It draws cards. It hits you. It flies sometimes. It doesn't block your Progenitus.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't need to block your Progenitus. I'll pass a turn.
I'll draw. It's funny. I can't even giant growth it.
Because it's protection from everything.
Try it. But we're gonna attack for 10.
I'll go to 9. Congratulations.
So that's 1 hit away. But I'm not out of stuff. I'll play my 4th forest and a Dawnheart Rejuvenator. Now that's a 2/4, and when it enters the battlefield, I gain 3 life, and it also taps for mana.
I will lose 1 as I will fetch. I will get an Underground Sea and tap it for a Vampiric Tutor, which costs me 2 life. It's okay. This hits for 10 anyways.
Yeah.
I will search my library for a card and put it on top of it. It could be anything. First, I'll shuffle my library.
I hope it's not good enough.
And then there's a card on top. Probably not good enough. It's probably fine. My deck just costs 100,000 euro. So first of all, I'll find out if you want to block. Block. With your 2/4. I can draw a card if I hit you. It's just 1 damage.
Okay, I'll block.
Okay, I'll discard 3 cards. This allows me
That
to
solves
put
this solution.
3 +1/+1 counters on this. And unfortunately, on your turn, you could hit me for 10. So it'll be my turn again. I'll play a Time Walk. I take an extra turn after this one, but first I want to make sure that my hand is full of cards. So I will play a Treasure Cruise. I will exile 7 cards from my graveyard and draw 3 cards. My whole deck's about drawing 3 cards. May I go into my turn?
Unfortunately, I don't really have anything to say about that.
I will draw for turn. And now we're fine. I will fetch for a land, and then I will play. I'm sorry. I don't mean to do this. I don't mean to be like this. The deck is just like this. I'll play a Mana Crypt. At the beginning of my upkeep, I flip a coin. If I lose a coin, I lose 3 life, which would be relevant if you had another turn. Actually, you might have one, but it won't be very exciting. I'll play a Mox Jet, just an artifact that taps for black, and I'm going to use it to tap for black to play. I don't know if you remember this from game 1. Archon of Cruelty. It's a 6/6 flying. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you sacrifice a creature. Goodbye, Progenitus.
And you gain 3 life?
And you discard a card, and I draw a card, and you lose 3 life.
Yeah, that's too much. Okay, I realize this is not going to be easy. We need to be way more clever than just adding some cards and hope they work out. We need to see Card's deck and build very, very specific answers against him. And I have something in mind, but I have a little trick to add them all to my deck now. So, let's see. Are you ready?
Yeah? Are you gonna go or press a button again?
Ready? Okay.
Too much button pressing.
You said I can press it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
Play forest. Go.
I'll draw. I will play a land that lets me look at the top card of my library and potentially put it in my graveyard, which I do. And then I'll play a Mox Sapphire, which is, it's the artifact that taps for blue. We all know it. I'll pass a turn.
I'll play my 2nd forest and a collector. Oof. Now, activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated, and that includes mana abilities. So your Mox Sapphire is a very pretty talisman.
My whole hand actually just got worse.
How sad.
Well done. I see you got your silver bullet. I will play nothing.
Oh, look at that.
No, I don't want to. It's not good.
I think that's the most useless 20,000 euros I've ever seen.
But if I get this off the board, it'll tap for red. I'll play a Polluted Delta and I'll pass the turn.
Whoa, look at that. It's working. I'll attack.
Okay, first blood.
Well, if you do nothing and I do nothing, it's 2 damage each turn. I'll play Forest and say go.
You come to this arena and say go with 3 mana? I'll take another damage. Because I laugh in the face of your little oof. Get an Underground Sea. I'll draw. I'll play another Polluted Delta. And it looks like I have 5 lands. But I actually can only tap for 3. And they don't do much. So I'll pass.
Attack?
Yep. It looks like you're getting there, but so far you just played a 2-2.
I'll play a Forest and a Gore Claw Terror of Kalsisma. It's a legendary bear. Creature spells with 4 or greater power cost 2 less to cast. And whenever it attacks, each creature I control with 4 or greater power gets +1/+1 and trample.
Okay, while it's there, I'm going to go looking for a counterspell, so I'll cast a Brainstorm, which will allow me to draw 3. Unfortunately, I do not have a counterspell. So I'm going to put these back. And your bear resolves. You have more pressure, so I'm going to take 1 more damage, which is counterintuitive in the face of pressure. But I think I have a plan up my sleeve. So I put an Underground Sea into play, and I'll draw for turn.
Okay?
So this is as far as you've ever gotten. I'm sweating the most I've ever sweated, and I hate exercise. So I'm going to tinker. You did say these artifacts are useless, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'll sacrifice this Mox and go get an artifact. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe a card that you've seen before. I'll get a Bolas's Citadel, which isn't a legendary artifact. I may look at the top card of my library at any time, which your oof does not prevent.
No.
I may also play the top card of my library. If I cast this play this way, I pay life equal to its converted mana cost. Your oof also doesn't prevent that. The only thing it prevents, which is unfortunately the most fun part, is sacrifice 10 non-lands permanents and each opponent loses 10 life.
I'm fine with you paying more life.
I may look at the top card of my library.
Yeah.
And it'll be a good one. I'll take 3 damage. To play in Abhorrent Oculus. To play it, I'll have to exile 6 cards from my graveyard. Unfortunate. But it's a 5/5 flying, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, I manifest Dread. We'll find out what that does on your upkeep. Let me look at the next card. Disappointing. Pass the turn.
Upkeep?
I will manifest Dread, which means I look at the top 2 cards of my library. I may put one of them face down as a 2/2 creature that will flip for its mana cost, if it's a creature, and the other one goes to my graveyard. I'll look at the top card. Ooh, that's a surprise. That could come in handy later.
Okay. Draw.
I have a 5/5. That's an I.
You?
Yes, because an I don't think you're going to win this game. Whoa, fun police.
I'll tap a green to cast a Wildwood Patrol, which is a 3 mana 4/2 trample, but because of Gore Claw, it actually costs 2 less to cast.
You can have your 4/2.
Then we're gonna attack with Gore Claw, which becomes a 5/4 because of its trigger.
I will throw my 2/2 in front of your 5/4. I'll take 3.
And that's it.
I will take 1 damage. Because I'll reveal this Fatal Push from the top of my library, which will destroy target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less. But it has Revolt. So if a creature, like my manifested creature, leaves the battlefield, I can destroy a creature with converted mana cost 4 or less.
I would try to combat that with a Veil of Summer. Now you play a blue-black deck, so I thought, how about countering blue-black cards? Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn, which you have. But also, spells you control can't be countered this turn, and you and permanents you control have hexproof from blue and black.
Oh, so you would prevent the Fatal Push
Draw a
from
card.
destroying your bear friend.
Prevent the Fatal Push, all of it.
So spells can't be countered only if this resolves, right?
Correct.
It won't. I will exile this Abhorrent Oculus to play a Force of Negation. If it's not your turn, which it isn't, I may exile a blue spell from my hand instead of paying its mana cost, and it just reads counter target non-creature spell. If the spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard.
Not so fast. This is the big trick. My hurrah. I'll tap 2.
Your hurrah.
I'll probably cast a card you've never seen before. I play Seed Time. You know what it is?
No, you'll actually have to read this one to me.
I can only cast Seed Time in my turn. And if you've cast a blue spell this turn, which I've noticed you did, I'll gain an extra turn. So it's basically a time walk for green.
So it's the most situational color hoser you could think of.
Let me ask you a question. Did you cast a blue spell?
I did.
So it's an instant time walk.
And it's your turn. Let me look at the top card of my library. Huh. I love playing the 10,000 euro deck. I'm going to take 1 damage. All Force of Will. Which allows me to pitch a blue card to counter this one as well.
Okay.
Let's walk through this together.
Yes. You're
going through time.
Unfortunately does stuff.
Counter your silly spell. Exile your Veil of Summer. Destroy your bear. And as the cherry on the gâteau, I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to draw 3 cards.
Gotta have a sherry. Enough. Oh, that was so close. We almost got it. It was such a good strategy, but our deck is just not fast and stable enough. So we're gonna add a lot of fast mana. I'm talking Llanowar Elves, Ruffalus, Mox Diamond, and even a Gaia's Cradle. So we have the mana we need to cast our big spells.
So last game you were close. I got scared a little bit.
I'll play a Forest. I've added mana to my deck, so now I play a Mox Diamond.
You play Moxes too?
Yes, but I'm reasonable. You know, I don't play the 20k variants of Moxes. I'll discard a Forest from a Mox Diamond. So now it's a Mox. Actually, better than a Mox. It makes every color of mana. Well, I'll tap it for green. And I play a Ruffalus. For 2 green, it's a 2/1 and I can tap it to add a mana for each forest I control. So next turn, I'll have 5 mana. So, good luck.
Okay, nice Mox. So I'll play a Mox.
Doesn't make red or green.
No, it does not. Neither does this. It's Mana Crypt. This one makes 2 mana though. I'll also just play a land. I'll also just play a Show and Tell. I will put this one into play.
I'll put a Gaia's Cradle.
Mine is an Atraxa the Grand Unifier. Let's give it a read together for the next 10 minutes. It's a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch Lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, I reveal the top 10 cards of my library. For each card type, I may put a card that's a type from amongst the revealed cards into my hand, the rest at the bottom of my library in any order. So I'm gonna draw like a bunch of cards. Also, can you race a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch Lifelink? I don't think so.
So as long as you don't pick a forest, I think I might be fine.
Oh, well, unfortunately for you, I'll pick a Force, and a Time Walk, and a Black Lotus, and another Atraxa, and an Underground Sea. Back into my hand.
This is not fun. I think we're on the right track. We have the mana, we have the answers, and now we need one last touch to get over the finish line. Just something that is so powerful and so good with all our mana elves. We're gonna bring a creature he can't handle. I think I've gotten to the point where we have the same amount of cards.
I'm bored now. I just keep winning and winning and winning. Show me something good.
I'm gonna show you the best I have. I'll play a forest and a Llanowar Elf.
You finally have a 1-drop.
Yay!
So I finally get to use my spells on your turn 1. I'm gonna take 2 damage.
Oh no!
To play a spell that says counter target spell with converted mana cost 1. These have just been rotting in my hand until you got one of these.
Hey, I've added 1-drops to my deck so you can counter them.
Yes, you've turned on my mental missteps.
Okay, I will play a Mox Diamond. Any forces?
No.
I'll discard a forest and I'll play a Revenge Llanowar Elf.
And I am out of mental missteps.
That's restricted. You can only have one.
Yes.
Go.
I'll play a Mox Sapphire and a Mox Jet and an Underground Sea and tap 2 lands. Lands? I meant Moxes to play a Psychic Frog. As you remember, because this is a lot of text, so I understand if you forgot it, it's a 1/2. When it hits Thoralf, I draw a card. That's what it says. It says Thoralf right here. Weird that they did that. But now it makes sense. It's your turn.
I'll draw. I'll play a Gaia's Cradle and for 2 mana, a Ruffalus, which is a Llanowar Elf. That's a 2/1. I don't attack it to your Psychic Frog, so it's your turn.
Okay. My Psychic Frog is in a horror slasher film where every turn it's just gonna eat 1 victim.
Yeah. Go. Draw a card.
Okay, I'll draw a card.
Yeah.
And you have only 1 card in hand.
Oh, the best one.
I'm gonna play Island and then Show and Tell, which allows us to put either a creature, an enchantment, an artifact, or a land into play.
I'm ready.
Show me your Llanowar Elf.
I have a Tree Shaker Chimera. It's an
8/5.
All creatures able to block must do so. And if it dies, I draw 3 cards. Hey, I also play Ancestrals. Look at that.
I'm gonna draw like 5 cards. I'll look at the top 10 cards in my library and put 1 of every card type into my hand, as I did last game. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, I get these 4.
I mean, not bad.
They're okay. I've played my land already, but I'll add a 3rd Mox. Not bad. Pass.
Okay. Draw. Oh, I might need the mana. Okay, so we're gonna not attack with the rest, just with the Tree Shaker Chimera. Your Atraxa needs to block. All creatures.
Oh, there's text on this thing.
Ah, I mean, it's a 7 and a 8/5.
Oh, that kills my Atraxa.
It does.
That's fine. Okay, they trade. I'll gain 7 life.
When it dies, I draw 3 cards.
I have 1 card that's really bad against you, so I'm really happy to get to use it here. I'll Consign to Memory. It's a 1 mana instant that I counter target triggered ability or colorless spell.
Do you want to replicate it?
Okay.
So there you have a copy of it as well, right?
Yes. Now they're
That doesn't matter. I count.
I'm sure you're very proud of yourself.
Yes. I draw a card if you've cast a blue spell.
I did.
And now nothing can be targeted and or countered from blue or black, which, well, includes all the things you did. Draw
And now you draw 3 cards.
I'm gonna play my land for the turn. It's
Okay.
a forest. And then I'll tap it and Ruffalus for 2 and a Mox Diamond for 4 to cast Goreclaw. Creature spells with power 4 cost 2 less to cast, and when it attacks creature with power 4 or greater get +1/+1 and trample. I would tap my Gas Cradle for 3 mana,
Yes.
and I'm giving you an opportunity now.
Oh, I'll take it.
It might be very costly. I would try to kill your frog because I'm casting a clear shot. Target creature you control gains +1/+1 until end of turn, and it deals damage to its power to a creature. I have 5 damage right now, 4+1. You could save it, but it only costs your.
Do they fight or does it just deal damage?
No, it's just punching. It's a shot. My bear somehow got a crossbow and is aiming with his paws.
I think my frog will take it.
That's it.
So you played out all your best creatures, I assume.
No, I've many good creatures.
Well, then you're in a lot of trouble, I think. I will. Show and tell. Which, you know, it allows us each to put a creature or land.
I have the best creature.
I'm playing an 100,000 euro deck, Tom. There's no way I have a better creature than Archon of Cruelty.
I would say let the community decide. You can put in the comments which one of those creatures is better.
Did you add a Colossal Dreadnought to your deck?
Nope, it's in the pre.
It's in the precon and that's a free deck that they just give willy-nilly to people?
So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you need a Colossal Dreadnought,
Go to Game Store and ask for the 2019 welcome deck?
So what does your 6/6 do? It doesn't even have trample. Like,
No, how am I ever gonna beat a 6/6 trample? Maybe with a flying 6/6 when it enters a battlefield or attack, target opponent sacrifices a creature,
this line of elf, go.
discards a card,
I have nothing.
loses 3 life.
Oh.
I will draw a card, gain 3 life, and I'll play a land that'll destroy your Gale's Cradle.
Now that's rude.
I still see myself ahead, but while we are ahead, I'll also play a Psychic Frog. You killed one last turn, but a new one comes back because that's how the rainforest grows. Go ahead.
Okay, I think this is my window.
This is your window? Look at what I have on board. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Colossal Dreadnought.
Maybe I draw a removal for the Archon.
Do you?
No. Why do you have so much life? I'll tap for 4 and cast Natural Order.
Ooh, that's a great top deck.
I will sacrifice more Rofellos.
I do not have any counter spells.
Unfortunately, Progenitus might be too slow.
If you attack every turn with your Progenitus and I attack every turn with my Archon of Cruelty, I win that right.
Luckily, past me has prepared for this moment.
Oh, wow. I might get dumpstered.
Great Hoof, 5/5 haste. When Crater of Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain +X and trample, where X is the number of creatures I control. Now, I have 3 creatures, which means all of them get +3/+3.
And then they'll get an extra +1/+1 when you attack.
Yes, so let's do it together. I'll attack with everybody. That's +4/+4 for each. So that means it's 27 damage coming your way, which unfortunately isn't good enough, but
I could block, but everything's big now and it won't be big later, so I'll go to 1.
so close.
I can't kill anything, but maybe if I draw a removal spell or attack, actually I'm fine. Unfortunately, this card is not good enough right now. So, let's go on step number 1. I will attack with Archon of Cruelty. When it does, you'll lose 3 life. I'll gain 3 life. You'll discard a card and I'll draw a card.
Oh.
And you sacrifice a creature.
Sacrifice the Gore Claw.
And you take 6.
Yes.
I'll play a Psychic Frog and pass the turn.
Won't be good enough. Alright, well, attack.
Oh, God.
It's all I have left.
It's all on the table. Okay, well, I'll block. And I'll block. This is a 1/2, this is a 1/2, this is a 5/5, this is 6/6. I will discard 3 cards from my hand to put 3 +1/+1 counters on one of my Psychic Frogs.
Remember when I said it wasn't good enough?
Yeah, because it wasn't. What? Was it just like a Mega Bluff?
It's the power of the Welcome deck.
Is that a Giant Growth?
Well, it started with magic. Giant Growth is as old as your deck.
I have a 1 mana, draw 3 cards, and you're going to win with a 1 mana +3/+3.
That settles which one is better of that cycle.
That's 9.
Yes.
This is 5. This is unfair. Well
deck.
well played. You beat the Fun Police. Congratulations.
That means now I'm the Fun Police.
Yes. So you go against your vintage player and you play turn 3 Natural Order and they're like, oh, very nice. I wonder what you're going to put into play with this. And it's Sentinel Spider.